Hello guys, this is the first time on this channel that you have, well, I wouldn't say this is the first time, but this has been the longest time since you've heard my voice. Um, well, this is how I sound in real life. So for those of you who wanted to know, my name is Reggie. Um, Anywho, this is a different kind of video. This is a very interesting video and is going to be discussing the topic of origin stories, because who doesn't like a good origin story? I mean, those are the things that build up the fundamentals of everything that we see. And I'm going to be doing the origin story of the fun run character Bear, because a lot of people don't know his story, and his story is very interesting, and I'm going to tell it to you guys. And I want to see how you guys react to this in the comments and what you guys think about this story. Now, how I was motivated to come up with this story was I was talking with my clan members, and they were just, we were just talking, and then I randomly just started creating origin stories for a lot of characters. And I said, hey, like, you know something? A lot of characters, or not characters, sorry, a lot of the people who watch my videos would love to hear these kinds of stories, and so I just want to know what you guys think about them. And so anywho, let's get started. Origin story of Bear. I open my eyes once again to find myself trapped, closed, and blocked away from my roots. My family, everything and everyone that I knew and grew fond of love was gone. To you, a random and innocent civilian in the eyes of society, saw things on the outside of what was to become an entire fun run franchise. To you, opening your mobile device to the introduction of the application you installed means little to nothing. Whereas for me, I've been stuck in this reality for over a decade. Everything used to be okay. Back in 2012, on September 5th, on a Wednesday, this was the day that everything changed for me. Everyone knows me as the friendly, thoughtful fellow who introduces a new player to the game by walking that person through the controls and methods to beating opponents and securing the first place victory. The dark but enlightening truth is that I was forced. But why me? Why does Bear get the stressful and disingenuous task of showing newcomers how to play? The ironic truth to that was because I had simply lost the race. Similar to how you see it played in the game, you'll enter the voting stage after having waited for some seconds, where it is just your character clothes that may be on said character and your name displayed above you so that you are aware of who you are before you play. This is just in case someone has the exact same outfit and character selected as you. Since the quick play mode requires 4 players, we copy the description I just gave you on one character and times it by 4. All that is left is to vote for which map that you want to race in, keeping in mind that you'll only be given 3 seconds to vote. For me, and anyone else who plays this treacherous game knows, I only had 2 options. Unless, if the majority were to vote for Reload, which produces 2 more options of a map you wanted to vote for if the last 2 were not up to your standards. But let me tell you something funny. Nobody votes for Reload. They simply forget that it is an option in the game that was given out of kindness. It is taken for granted. Why does this matter? Well, the 2 maps that I was presented with I did not like. The first option was Sunset Valley, the second choice being Autumn Trails. I had little experience on these maps, so I went for the Reload and got denied because the other 3 players immediately chose Sunset Valley, as if their lives depended on it, and to some extent it did. Because you see, I never told you what the conditions of this race actually contained. Whoever lost this race came in dead last or in 4th place would be stuck with introducing newcomers to the game for the rest of their life. Who would come up with such a brutal and unjust consequence for losing? Oh, well, it was no other than Dragon. The way Dragon thinks is that everything and everyone is on their own. They can only fight for themselves. It's like this survival of the fittest mindset for him, but that is a story for another time. Right now, the story is focused on me. Well, Why agree to this horrible task, you might ask? It was because we knew that more and more people were going to start playing the game, and this meant it called for urgency to appoint someone to welcome these newcomers, or in other words, display the basic fundamentals of our world. We didn't have a volunteer, and so when Dragon came up with his idea, everyone instantly latched on because there was nothing else. Now that I have explained this, we can go back to the details of my race. We landed on Sunset Valley, as it was displayed in big white letters above us for about 6 seconds. Within those 6 seconds, you are presented with your power-up, which is the weapon or tool that you can use to your advantage to either harm other racers to give yourself an edge or use to give yourself a disadvantage. I was given a saw blade. Now, this is only one of many lethal power-ups in the game, but what I can briefly tell you is that this baby has the potential to kill 3 times over before it disappears. Oh, and I guess I didn't mention that we, how do I put this? We don't stay permanently dead in our world. We regenerate and come back to life seconds after, which I guess I can say is a perk. But anyways, then you have the jump button on the right of your screen. Gunfires, sound alarms, and boom baby. There I go, starting off in first place. I used my power up and killed everyone in what was about a second after the race started. I stayed in first place for a majority of this race. I gotta say, not to sound cocky, but to sound factual, that my opponents were horrible. I was much better on this map than I had initially thought. And so just being about 20 feet away from the finish line, approximately 39 seconds into this race, the worst thing that could have possibly happened had happened to me. Bunny, who was originally in 4th place, used speed to get up to right behind me and then acquired a new power-up where she got the balloon. This shields her from one hit by a power-up that does damage to the opponent. Coincidentally, Fox was not too far behind and used his lightning, which struck me so hard that my feet lifted off the ground and kept me in the sky for 3 seconds. This time that I was spending in the air felt like an eternity, and it gave just enough time for Fox and Turtle to pass me and cross the finish line, leaving me in 4th place. Oh, and where was Bunny? She had immunity from the lightning because of the effect of that stupid power-up, so now my fate was sealed. I couldn't even say goodbye to my loved ones before I was forced into my new job, without pay, I might add. So whenever a newcomer joins the Fun Run community for the first time, it is my job to put on the fake smile and introduce myself to them and walk them through the course every single time. Think about the amount of people who play this game. I have to individually introduce myself to them every time. Don't believe me? Go to the internet, and once you look up the title for Fun Run, take a good, hard, long look at the game cover. After all, I'm on the cover of each Fun Run game produced.